The next question, I think is something connected. One brother, Prabhu, is asking, all the religions basically preach good things. Thus, a person can follow any one of the religion. It is one and the same.
The question posed is that all the religion basically teach good things. So you can follow any religion. It's one and the same. And I do agree with him in the first part of the question that all religions do basically preach good things. For example, all religions say you should not rob, you should not molest a woman, you should not rape her. Hinduism says that, Christianity says that, Islam says that. But the difference between Islam and the other religions is that Islam, besides speaking of good things, it shows you a way how to implement those good things. Like all religions speak about brotherhood. But Islam practically shows you, it demonstrates how to practice it in your day-to-day life, salah, hajj, etc. So Islam, besides speaking theoretically, it shows you a way how to practice it in your life. For example, Hinduism says you should not rob, Christianity says you should not rob, Islam says you should not rob. So what's the difference between Islam and the other religions? Islam shows you a way how to achieve that state in which people will not rob. Islam has a system of zakat. That is, every rich person who has a saving of more than the nisab level, 85 grams of gold, he or she should give 2.5% of that excess wealth in charity every lunar year. If every rich human being gives charity, poverty will be eradicated from this world. There will not be a single human being who will die of hunger. After this, the glorious Qur'an says in Surah Ma'idah, chapter number 5, verse number 38, as to the thief, be it a man or a woman, chop off his or her hand as a punishment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people may say, chopping off the hands in this age of 20th century, Islam is a barbaric religion. It's a ruthless law. And I do know that there are thousands of people who rob. So if you chop off all the people, then many people lose their hands. But the law is so strict that the moment you implement it, and if a person comes to know that his hands will be chopped off if he robs, immediately the thought of robbing will go away from his mind. Do you know today America, which happens to be one of the most advanced countries in the world, unfortunately, it also has one of the highest rates of crime, highest rate of robbery and theft. I'm asking you a question. If you implement the Islamic Sharia in America, that is every rich person gives zakat, 2.5% of his excess wealth in charity, and after that, if any man or woman robs, chop off his or her hand, I'm asking you a question. Will the rate of robbery and theft in America, will it increase? Will it remain the same or will it decrease? It will decrease. It's a practical law. You implement the Sharia and you get results. Let me give you another example. That most of the major religions say that you should not molest a woman, that you should not rape a woman. Hinduism says that, Christianity says that, Islam says the same. But Islam shows you a way how to achieve that state in which people will not, men will not molest or rape a woman. Islam has a system of hijab. People normally talk about hijab for the women. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the glorious Quran first speaks about the hijab for the man and then for the woman. The glorious Quran says in Surah Nur chapter number 24 verse number 30 that say to the believing man that he should lower his gaze and guard his modesty. Whenever a man looks at a woman and any brazen thought comes in his mind, any unashamed thought comes in his mind, he should lower his gaze. There was once a friend of mine, who was a Muslim friend, who was staring at a girl for a long time. So I told him, brother, what are you doing? It's prohibited in Islam to stare at a girl. So he told me, our beloved Prophet said that the first glance is allowed, the second is prohibited. I have not yet completed half my glance. What did the Prophet mean by saying the first glance is allowed, the second is prohibited? He didn't mean that you can look at a woman and stare continuously at her for 20 minutes without blinking. What the Prophet meant that if you look at a woman unintentionally, intentionally don't look at her again. Don't feast on her. That's what the Prophet meant. The next verse speaks about the hijab for the woman. Surah Nur chapter 24 verse 31 says that say to the believing woman that she should lower her gaze and guard her modesty and display not her beauty except what appears ordinarily of, and to draw a head covering over the bosom. And display not her beauty except in front of her husband, her fathers, her sons, etc. and a big list of mahram, the close relatives who she can't marry is given. And there are basically 6 criteria for hijab. The first is the extent which differs between the man and the woman. For the man, the extent is from the navel to the knee. For the woman, the complete body should be covered. The only part that can be seen are the face and the hands up to the wrist. Some scholars say even this should be covered. The remaining 5 criteria are the same. The second is the clothes they wear, it should not be so tight that it reveals the figure. Third, it should not be transparent so that you can see through. Fourth, it should not be so glamorous that it attracts the opposite sex. Fifth, it should not resemble that of the unbeliever. Sixth, it should not resemble that of the opposite sex. These are basically 6 criteria for hijab mentioned in the Qur'an and the Sahih Hadith. And the Qur'an says in Surah Ahzab, chapter 33, verse number 59, giving the reason for hijab. It says, O Prophet, tell your wives and the believing women that when they go abroad, they should put on the cloak so that they shall be recognized and it will prevent them from being molested. Quran says, hijab has been prescribed for the women so that it will prevent them from being molested. And the Islamic Sharia says, if anyone rapes any woman, he gets capital punishment. People may say, capital punishment? In this 20th century, Islam is a barbaric religion. It's a ruthless law. It's a barbaric religion. Do you know America, which happens to be the country which is supposed to be most advanced, it has one of the highest rate of rape. According to the statistics, it says that on an average, every day, more than 1,900 females are being raped every day. Every 1.3 minutes, one female is raped. Since the time I'm in this auditorium, it's more than 2.5 hours. How many rapes may have taken place? How many? More than 100 in America. I'm asking you a question. If you implement the Islamic Sharia in America, that is, every man, when he looks at a woman, he should lower his gaze. The woman should be properly dressed up in the hijab. And after that, if any man rapes, capital punishment. I am asking a question. Will the rate of rape increase? Will it remain the same or will it decrease? It will decrease the practical law. You implement the Sharia and you get results. And I've asked this question to non-Muslims that suppose someone rapes, unfortunately, your wife or your mother. And if you are made the judge, and if the rapist is brought in front of you, what punishment will you give? And believe me, all of them said, we'll put him to death. Some went to the extent of saying, we will torture him to death. So why do you have the double standards? Someone rapes somebody else's wife, capital punishment is barbaric law. Someone rapes your wife, you want to give him capital punishment. Why these double standards? And do you know in India, according to the statistics of Crime Bureau, it says that every 54 minutes, one case of rape is reported in India. How many taking place? Every few minutes maybe, one case. And no wonder, the Home Minister of India, L.K. Advani, you know what he said? It came in headlines of Times of India. Headline. What it says? That Advani puts a death rap for rapes and recommends an amendment in the law. Headlines in Times of India, 28th of October, 10 days back. On Tuesday, one day before, 27th of October, 1998, he said that he wants death penalty for the rapist. Alhamdulillah. What Islam has said 14 years ago, L.K. Advani is saying that, and I congratulate him for that. I'm not here to promote any political party. I'm not a politician. But if someone speaks the truth, I have to appreciate it. And if you implement this, surely the rate of rape will diminish. Maybe the next Home Minister may implement the Islamic hijab here also. So inshallah, the rape will be completely abolished. They are coming closer to Islam. I appreciate it. Ta'alaw ila qalmatin sawa'in baynana wa baynakum. Come to common terms as between us and you. Mr. L.K. Advani realized that rape is increasing in India, and he rightly recommended that the law should be amended and death penalty should be put for the rapist. And I'm for it. I'm the first Indian to support him. So if you analyze Islam, besides speaking good things, it shows you a way how to achieve that state of goodness. Therefore, I say that Islam, unlike other religions, which speak good things, it shows you a way how to achieve goodness. So therefore, if I have to follow a religion, I would follow a religion which speaks good things and shows you a way how to achieve that good things. Therefore, it is rightly said in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse number 19, Inna Dina Indallahi al-Islam. The only religion accepted in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the person who submits his will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.